Shalom, people of God. Well, I come to you today to talk to you about a word that Elohim has placed in my heart. And the word that he has placed in my heart is that many are called, but few are chosen. There was many times my sister would say to me, as well as my husband would say to me, I see more inside of you than what you see inside of yourself. Now, a lot of times I never understood that. I would brush it off like, yeah, right, you see more inside of me than what I can see. I mean, I see a lot of potential inside of me. I see a lot of great things that I can do. I see a lot that I have done. But they seemed as though they were seeing greater, as though the Lord was showing them more than what I was actually showing everybody else. Now, the Lord has also shown me through dreams and through visions of things that are to come within my life. Some things I did not understand. A lot of things were very confusing. Certain things I was like, oh, okay, that's what's supposed to be of me. Then he would send like prophets or prophetess my way that would call out certain things over my life of what they were seeing, which was still confusing because when a prophet speaks to you and tell you certain things, sometimes it don't click. It's like the time when Yeshua was speaking to the disciples that, he would say certain things and it would just like go right over their head. And it wasn't until an appointed time where they would remember back to what Yeshua had said to them that they would be like, oh my goodness, that's what he was talking about. That's what he meant. One prophetess told me that I will be like a tree planted beside the rivers of water, and that word is going to flow out of me like never before. Okay, I kind of got that, but then I didn't kind of get that. Another prophetess said that there is power, unlimited power on the inside of you. A prophet told me that he was going to anoint my feet and told me that I was going to go many places, up and down the highways, and that he was said to anoint my feet for such a time as that. Now, this was years ago. Then there was this female prophetess. I will never forget it because it baffled me, but me with my goofy tail at that time did not ask her what she meant by it. This was many years ago. I went down for prayer. Nothing unusual. I wasn't expecting a word from the Lord. I just went down for a prayer for one of my family members. And that God, continues to be with me, throughout my journey. When I went down for prayer and I bowed my eyes and I raised my hands, she stopped and said to the pastor at the church that I was attending at that time, do you not know who this is that is before you? Okay, at that moment I opened my eyes and I looked up at her and I'm like, what is she talking about? And he said yes. And she repeated to him, do you know who this is that stands before you? And he was like, yes. She said, well, I'm going to tell you like this. What you need to do is you need to keep her covered at all times. You need to pray for this young lady as much as possible, because of the things that she's going to have to face and go through. And I'm like, what is she talking about? So after she said that to him, and he said, I do pray for her, she began to pray for me. Now, like I said, if anything, a light bulb should have went on in my head, and I should have went to this young lady after service and was like, what did the Lord show you? But I didn't. Years later, when certain things started to happen within my life, when my life started to be turned upside down and the call started pulling on me like never before, now I want to go back to that lady and say, excuse me. I mean, I don't know whether you'll see it again. I don't even know if you remember me, but do you remember that what you prophesied it to me? Now, it wasn't full-fledged. That was so in parts, at least to me, but it might not have been fully what was shown to you for you to turn to the pastor at that time and say what you said. Can you clue me in? Can you put me in and let me know what it is that the Lord showed you? but I don't even remember the lady's name. I have no clue of how to contact her. I do know the pastor whose church she went to, but you know how many people have come through that church since that moment? I don't even know if he'll remember who I'm talking about. If he does, and if she's still around, that's the other thing. If she's still on this earth, it will be so many factors in that. Of one, whether I could find her. Two, whether she'll remember me. Three, whether she'll remember what she prophesied over me, or whether the Lord will reveal it unto her again. So those were things that were baffling to me. And I have also been shown things through dreams, mainly about things that are to come within my life. Now, I'm going to take you into one of the dreams that the Lord showed unto me, and then we'll go into the next, and I'll show you kind of how they tie hand in hand, but I didn't see them that way when I first looked at it. There was a dream that I had, and me being a singer, you know, and singing at churches and stuff like that, I was at this particular church, which was a church that my husband introduced me to these people. I didn't know the people. I set up under them for a little bit as far as in a mentoring ship. So I was able to spend a little time to get to know them, but not to get to know them, you know, to the fullest. I happened to be at their service, and I was the MC over a musical that they were having, which in my dream makes sense to me because I like to sing. Now, I wasn't performing in it, but I was the MC over it. Now, taking factor that I've never MC'd any type of musical, any type of event before. So this would have been a first for me. So at this musical, I'm going up, it's at the end of the musical, I'm going up to say my last words, to send out a prayer before we get ready to end up the whole thing. Now, by me being the MC, you already know I've been in front of these people before, but you know, it was the normal routine of how an MC runs their program. So at the end of the program, I go up and I say, you know, a few things to make them laugh, you know, this, that, and the other, ask them, did they enjoy themselves? And when I get ready to go into the midst of the prayer, while I'm praying, I could see myself standing up there as though I was having like an out-of-body experience because I'm watching myself do all this. So as I'm praying, here it is, all of a sudden, I begin to feel something. And this was something very unusual, very different. I felt someone's hurt that was going on in the audience. And not only did I feel their hurt, but I felt their pain. Then I got taken from the destination of the musical to their situation of what they were going through. There was a young lady who, out in the audience, had been raped before. And here it is, I'm being taken from the podium to the area where she had been raped at. And I'm feeling what she was feeling, the emotions that she was feeling at this time, the shame that she was feeling. I'm feeling her rejection. I'm feeling her pushing away. I'm feeling her fight and feeling her defeat. And I was taken aback, but it didn't stop there. I went from her to the next person. And this person was being verbally abused by their spouse. And every day they couldn't do nothing right. Every day they were being fussed at. So I'm in the scene of them now, being fussed at by somebody I don't even know. And more and more I'm feeling this hurt, this pain, this shame, and this anguish and this anxiety. And I'm in fear. And then I get taken from that moment to a child who's being beaten by their parent just for no reason at all, just for doing something simple that to their parent looked to them as being stupid that they did. So now I'm being beat in the place of that child that's going through not understanding why I'm being beat. Then from that, I was being physically fought by another spouse and just being beat down to the ground, not verbally, but being physically beat down to the ground. And then from that, I was being stabbed. And from that, I was being shot. I mean, it was like incident after incident. And it was coming in like a flood, like one incident after the next, to where I'm trying to ask them to stop, Please stop whatever you're doing. You know, if you're praying in a different kind of way, if your thoughts are going in a different kind of way, whatever you're doing, just stop. I can't take this anymore. It's too much. It's too much for me to bear. This is too powerful. This is too strong. It's weighing me down. So now I'm down on my knees, standing on the stage. And as I'm down on my knees, I begin to cry. I'm talking about like straight wailing in my dream. I'm shaking and I'm wailing in my dream, just crying out, trying to get them to stop, trying to pray out for each individual person that's going through, but my prayers are not going out fast enough for them. So after that, I wake up from the dream, because I had a tendency when I was smaller to be able to snatch myself out of a dream when dreams were becoming too much or too powerful for me. So I wake up from that dream. And when I woke up from that dream, I am still crying. That dream was so powerful and so real that it trickled from out of the dream world, out of the spiritual world. Because if you've been on my post before, you've noticed that I've said whenever we're dreaming and we go into that dream state, we're half in the spiritual realm and half in the earthly world. So here it is. I was feeling the effects all the way out into the natural. The way when I woke up, I was like boohoo crying. And my husband, he turned to me, he was like, "What's wrong?" So I tried to explain to him what happened in my dream and what I was going through in my dream. And he started smiling, shaking his head. He was like, "Yeah." He say, "I understand." He say, "Just go back to sleep. It's going to be all right." I was like, "No, I can't go back to sleep." And what do you mean you understand? You can't understand what that dream was just saying to me. Because if that is me, if that is actually me, who's gonna go through those different things, that is very powerful. See, the Bible says to whom much is given, much is required. In order to get to that level, what is going to have to be required of me in order to get there? It's an amazing dream to some, but to a lot of people, that's fearful. That's scary. And I understand that the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. But take it from a person who was not on that level a long time ago. To me, at that point, it was fearful. But the Lord knew I wasn't ready yet. So therefore, it was just a dream as far as in preparation to let me know what my future holds. Okay, so even though he was relaxed in the whole situation, I don't understand why you relaxed, but I get it. You relax because this ain't you that's got to go through that. This ain't you that's got to feel those different things. So I can understand why your response will be what it is. If you was going to be the one going through that, your response wouldn't be all relaxed and all lovely. "Oh, this is wonderful. That's beautiful that's going to be over your life." No. Excuse me. Have you not paid attention to the word of Elohim? That usually people who have like a miraculous thing over their life are the ones who go through a lot. Not saying they don't be victorious out on the end. They probably don't look much back at their situation as being a hardship, more of a deliverance part thing of more of what Elohim was doing to them. Because that's what Joseph did. Joseph said what the enemy meant for bad, God already turned it around and meant it for our good. He was trying to get his brothers to understand it. Because some might not understand it, that all they saw was the negative that they put him through. But he looked past the negative to see what positive the Lord brought out of that situation. So at that point in time, trust and believe, all I saw was the negative, could not see any positive at that time. Not saying that the Lord don't have positive, because now I know he has plenty of beautiful blessings and rewards for me. But I'm still, at times feeling the trickles of what's going to come to pass with the area of where he's taking me, the level of where he's taking me off to. Now, that was my first dream, not my very first dream in my life, no, but one of the dreams that I'm trying to highlight to get to the point of where we're going today. Now, my next dream, I had a dream about a house, a big house. It was like far off a distance from the area of how you get into the house, meaning far off from the gate of how to get into the house. And it was a lot of land. But the land wasn't the main thing that was highlighted for me. It was mainly the situation. Now, the situation in this dream was there was a lot of people at my house this particular day. Not me thinking in the natural sense. I'm thinking, okay, all these people are over here. Maybe I'm having a family reunion at my house or something like that. You know, some type of gathering. The reason why all these people are here. So it's got to be like a family reunion. Because these people seem like they know me and they're happy to see me. So I walk up on the patio. I have a patio. And it was a big patio because there were chairs and tables sitting on the patio. Out from the patio, somebody was on the grill and grilling, and you could smell the sweet aromas that was coming off the grill and stuff like that. And I was walking in the house to show other people about where they were going to be sleeping. Now, this is why I still felt like it was family members. Of the reason why I'm showing them around. Maybe it was family members at the reunion who had never been to my house before. And if you've never been to my house before, you don't know the things that are in the house. So I'm showing them. I showed them one room. I said, well, this is the area where you're going to be sleeping at. And then I took them down to another room. And this room actually had like it was like a open out hall where you could have like banquets or, you know, different things in there. And the weird thing about the floor was it was a wooden floor, but that floor would kind of like by the push of a button would move back. And up under that wooden floor was a pool, which was like so amazing to me. I'm like, okay, if you push this button, you know, the floor will slide back. And then, you know, you can get in the pool to kind of enjoy yourself if you want to. And I was showing them other parts, you know, to the house. Well, this wasn't a long, drawn-out dream, which is the reason why I guess I had questions once I got up. And once I woke up, I'm like, okay, Lord, this is the second time you don't show me a house. The first house looked totally different than this second house. And who are all those people? I mean, some people I don't even recognize. Maybe it was maybe I was having a family reunion at my house. It was big enough for me to be able to have a family reunion at my house. You know, usually people gather together for a fish fry at the family reunion, but nobody was frying fish at this particular area. They were barbecuing like it was a family gathering. So as I continue to move on farther and farther, and I've talked to more and more people, and they tell me about how they thank God for, you know, allowing, you know, me to be in their life, you know, that I give them the word of God, and the way that I give the word of God is just so amazing. So now I've been taken back to that dream. And in that dream, the Lord is letting me know those were not your actual blood relatives that you saw at the family reunion, at what you felt like was a family reunion. Those were your family, but those were your spiritual family. Those who are calling and chosen just like you. And you are gathering with them, and you all are coming together as a family comes together. You all are helping. You all are teaching, you are preaching, you are ministering, you are healing, you are saving, you are restoring. You are doing everything that you were called to do at this particular gathering. No, I didn't show you all those things, but I showed you where I'm taking you, which is a fullness of power. And notice that there were no sad faces at that destination. Nothing but happiness and joy and laughter and peace. Regardless of the things that were going on, they had no clue of what was going on because I had them in a peaceful area. So once again, here it is. I was like, wow, Lord, that's amazing. I would have never saw it as that. Like I said, I saw it as family. I did. But never saw it as though I was supposed to be housing people. Now, for a little minute now, the Lord has been placing in my heart, I'm going to show you a place, Shika. I'm going to show you a place. But there is an appointed time for that place. Just be patient. And when the door opens, I want you to walk in it. It's going to be smooth sailing. No worries, no stress. A place that I have prepared just for an appointed time as this. So I've been preparing and getting ready. But once again, I'm thinking I'm preparing and getting ready just for my immediate family. But in quantities, somewhat of what I've been getting prepared, it really doesn't seem like it's that way. And even the people that he's going to send my way, they've been preparing also for such a time as this. So they're going to be in my area, in my zone, bringing their supplies too, bringing their stuff as well, prepared for this moment. It is not a fear factor moment. It is just to let you know that you are covered no matter what comes your way. The Lord has your back. Now, what you have to understand is, in order for these things to come to pass for you, you have to stay connected. It's staying connected to the right people at the right time. Like they say, being in the right place at the right time. You can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and your life gets steered in a totally different direction. To you at that moment, it felt right. But as you continue to walk down that path, as you continue to go down that road, you find out, this really ain't for me. This is not exactly how it looked at first. Now that I'm in it, it looked real rocky. It looked real scary. This is not me. Now I'm acting out of character. I'm doing things that I should have never been doing before. That's because you're off your path. When you're on your path, your whole character changes and it walks in right standing. Now the enemy will come your way and tell you, oh no, this ain't it. You ain't at peace. Listen, this is in turmoil. I can show you peace, but the enemy shows you a type of peace. He's only a carbon copy of the real thing. And trust and believe, everything that he presents to you that seem like it's peace, that seem like it's good, it's only a matter of time where the cover gets pulled off of that situation. It's only a matter of time where the enemy rears up his head and shows you that he's actually the enemy, a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's not a sheep. Even though it makes the sheep sound, that don't necessarily make it a sheep. There are a lot of people who feel like that they are going to make it over because the good that they do, but are not connected. That's not true. Remember, the rich man thought that he had did everything too. He had his wealth, but his thing was, I did everything that was required of me, until Yeshua said, okay, well, sell all that you have and follow me. Hold up. That's a hard thing to do. Giving up the things of this world, the things that pull on your flesh more than your spirit, man, is hard for most of us to do. Because a lot of us want to attach ourselves to the flesh. The flesh feels good. Remember, with the flesh, there comes the lust of the eye, the pride of life, and that sinful nature. All those things come with this flesh. See, in this flesh lies no good thing. No matter how much you try to turn it into good or make it out to be good, it's just really not good. It tickles your flesh for a moment. But when those moments die down, you're searching for another tickle. You're searching for another moment. A lot of people don't even find that moment no more. It's just like a person who get their first high. Their first major high off one of those major drugs that's out there that gets them strongly hooked. When they get that first hit, that first high, they search for that feeling over and over again. It's never like the first feeling, but they continue to search for it, hoping that it'll rear its head up again and show its happiness all over again. It's never the same happiness. It's a type of happiness only to keep you bound, only to keep you reared in, but it's not the same. It's not the same, people. When you are in a peaceful, good area, you know it because there's no strong chaos going on around you. Now, the enemy will try to bring, chaos through other people. He will. But it is up to you of discerning that's exactly what it is. It's nothing to take you out of your peaceful area. It's just understanding, okay, well, that the enemy is using that person at a time. Let's bring correction in that and keep it moving. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Lord, I thank you for watching over your people. I thank you for guiding them and leading them. Lord, continue to guide them along their way. Lord, guide them to the path that leads to you. Lord, allow them to have a good day. Allow them to be at peace with your word, with your will and your way. In Yeshua's name I pray. Amen. Shalom, family.